Princess Arala Vess had never known a day in her life when she wasn't watched, measured, and quietly pitted. Among the luminous halls of the Avari Dominion, those floating citadels of crystal and silver light, she was the beloved daughter of Queen Saurian, heir to a lineage spanning 1,000 worlds. And yet, whispers always followed her. The Barren Princess, the last in a line of star-born rulers incapable of continuing the lineage. It was not cruelty that fueled the talk, only a silent, aching truth the royal physicians had confirmed. Avari biology was intricate, refined by millions of years of evolution. Their life cycles were complex, tied to energy harmonics and neural resonance patterns. Arala's patterns, the healers said, were incomplete, unable to form the essential link that would allow her to conceive. Thus, in her palace of shimmering glass, Arala lived a life rich in duty but empty of the future she once imagined. She learned to navigate her world with grace, mastering diplomacy, starship piloting, and the subtle art of manipulating light through thought. But no skill eased the heaviness in her heart. It was during the treaty summit of the Fringe Colonies that Arala first met Commander Ethan Hale of Earth's Alliance fleet. He was nothing like the Avari nobles. No luminous tattoos, no telepathic aura, no serene perfection. He stood grounded, solid, with warm eyes and a scar across his jaw that told of real battles. When he bowed, it was awkward. When he spoke, it was earnest. And when he smiled, Arala felt something inside her that she had long believed was broken flicker with life. Their meeting was meant to be short, a polite exchange between representatives. But it stretched into hours. Ethan asked questions, not political ones but human ones. Did she enjoy flying? Did she ever sneak away from royal duties? Did she get lonely up here in the floating palace? She had never answered such questions honestly before, but she found she wanted to. By the end of the summit, they had shared 3 meals, traded stories of childhood, and without realizing it, opened a door neither thought they would ever cross. Middle. In the months that followed, diplomatic cooperation between Earth and the Avari grew. So did the quiet bond between Ethan and Arala. Messages became visits. Visits became long nights under the starlit balcony of the Avari Citadel, where Arala showed Ethan constellations only visible in ultraviolet light, and Ethan taught her to play an old Terran guitar he carried everywhere. The Queen, of course, noticed. So did the Council. Human physiology is too crude, one counselor warned Arala. Too chaotic. You risk destabilizing your neural resonance. She cannot form a bond, whispered another. Her patterns are incomplete. The human cannot help her. But Arala wasn't seeking help. Not at first. She was seeking companionship. And in Ethan she found something she had never been given. The freedom to be more than her diagnosis. One evening, during the Golden Eclipse Festival of the Avari, Ethan took her hand as the twin suns converged into a brilliant ring of fire across the sky. The palace lit with refracted beams, turning every surface into molten gold. You're trembling, Ethan whispered. Arala exhaled, trying to steady the rush of emotions. The nearness of him, the warmth of his palm, the hum of the eclipse, it overwhelmed her. It's my resonance, she said. It reacts to strong emotion. That a bad thing? No, she allowed herself to lean closer. Not tonight. Ethan kissed her under the eclipsing suns. And for the first time in her life, Arala felt her resonance stabilize instead of falter. Unbeknownst to both, the palace sensors recorded something astonishing. Arala's neural patterns shifted into alignment. Not the Avari standard, but a hybrid mode. A resonance compatible with human bioelectrical rhythms. A pattern capable of formation. The chief physician, alarmed, summoned Arala and revealed the impossible. Your bond with a human, It is altering your harmonic matrix. It continues. Princess, you may become capable of conception. Arala's breath caught. A life she had mourned returned to her in an instant, but not without cost. The council was furious. Humans, they insisted, were unstable, short-lived, prone to emotional chaos. To tie the royal lineage to such a species was unthinkable. They demanded she sever the relationship and undergo restabilization, forcing her pattern back into its infertile state. Arala refused. When the council tried to confine her for her own safety, Ethan broke into the citadel with a stolen shuttle and a determination that would become legend. They escaped to the crystalline canyons of the Avari moon Lethra, where energy fields shimmered like auroras and no council scanners could reach. There, under alien skies, Arala made her choice, not forced by duty but by love. And creation answered. Then, 3 months later, the queen herself arrived on Lethra with a hush of starships. The council followed, expecting to detain the princess and drag her back to the stabilizing chambers. But Queen Saurian walked alone to the remote cavern where Arala and Ethan waited. Her regal composure faltered only once, when she saw the faint luminescent aura surrounding Arala's abdomen. It was the glow of a forming life. "Mother," Arala whispered, voice trembling. "I didn't think this was possible." Saurian reached out, hesitating before placing her hand over her daughter's. A soft pulse of energy met her touch, a harmonic she had never felt in her long reign. "A new pattern," the queen murmured. "Neither Avari nor human. Something entirely new." The council, alerted by her reaction, pressed forward with arguments of tradition, purity, and danger. But Saurian raised a hand. "Silence," she commanded. "We stand at the edge of history." Turning to Ethan, she studied him for a long, measured moment. "You risked the Dominion's wrath for my daughter." "I'd risk the galaxy," Ethan said simply. The queen nodded once. "Then perhaps you are worthy of the child you have created together." What followed was not immediate acceptance. Avari tradition was slow to bend, but the queen's decree could not be challenged. She declared the unborn child heir to a new era, one where lineage would be defined not by perfect biological symmetry, but by the courage to grow beyond it. Years later, when the hybrid child was born, tiny, luminous, with eyes that shifted between Avari silver and human brown, the Dominion changed forever. The child's energy signature was stable, powerful, and harmonious. Proof that the future of the Avari was not in purity, but evolution. Arala and Ethan raised their daughter in the open skies of Lethra, visited by scholars, diplomats, and curious citizens from across the Dominion. The council, once fearful, grew protective. And Ethan, the crude human, was eventually honored with the title of royal consort. But for Arala, the true victory was simpler. The daughter sleeping in her arms, the man she loved at her side, and the future she had once been denied now glowing brighter than the stars above. They had said the alien princess could never have children. They had said her lineage would end with her. They were wrong. She simply needed a mate who loved her enough to rewrite destiny. And a human was perfect for that.